Few names in Hollywood resonate with such grace, strength, and resilience as Cicely Tyson. A trailblazer in every sense of the word, Tyson didn't just act. She transformed the very fabric of the entertainment industry, from breaking racial barriers to portraying the dignity of African American life with unmatched authenticity. She carved a legacy that continues to inspire generations. Cicely Tyson was more than just an actress. She was a symbol of strength, resilience, and unwavering grace. She grew up in a world where opportunities for Black women in Hollywood were limited. Yet, through sheer determination and an unshakable sense of self, Cicely Tyson not only broke down barriers, but also redefined what it meant to be a Black woman in the entertainment industry. Her journey wasn't easy. Tyson faced countless challenges, but she was always driven by a deeper purpose: to tell authentic, powerful stories that would uplift and empower Black communities. In a time when Hollywood often reduced African Americans to stereotypical roles, Tyson insisted on portraying characters with dignity, depth, and humanity. She became a beacon of hope, a role model for young Black actors, and an inspiration for anyone who dared to dream. Her legacy extends far beyond the screen. Tyson used her platform to advocate for racial equality and uplift the voices of those who were often silenced. She remained a committed activist throughout her life, constantly reminding us that art can change the world. Her roles, whether in Sounder, Roots, or the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, resonated deeply with audiences, not just because of her exceptional talent, but because of her ability to channel the very essence of the human experience. The challenges she overcame, the roles she made her own, and the legacy she leaves behind. We'll explore her early years, her breakthrough moments, the groundbreaking achievements that defined her career, and the lasting impact she has on generations of people, both inside and outside the entertainment industry. She once said, "I'm a woman who has lived and learned, and it's my responsibility to share what I've learned." Cicely Louise Tyson was born to West Indian immigrant parents, William and Theodosia Tyson. Her mother, originally from Nevis, and her father, from the island of St. Kitts, settled in Harlem, a neighborhood that, at the time, was buzzing with cultural renaissance. Harlem was the heart of African American art, music, and intellectual movements. It was also where Cicely would later find her footing. Despite their modest means, Cicely's parents instilled a sense of self-worth and pride in her heritage. Her father, a strict and hardworking man, valued education, while her mother was a strong presence who nurtured Cicely's creative side. She grew up alongside her two siblings, with her mother taking on the role of a spiritual guide and the emotional anchor for the family. As a child, Cicely experienced the complexities of growing up in Harlem. She was exposed to a diverse range of cultures, ideas, and art forms. But beyond the neighborhood's rich culture, Harlem also had its share of struggles. The effects of systemic racism and economic hardship were real. These early years laid the foundation for Cicely's belief in perseverance and the power of education. Cicely's upbringing wasn't without its challenges. Her parents were very protective, especially her mother, who had high expectations for her children. She made sure they understood the importance of their roots, and she often emphasized the need to remain grounded in their values. Her parents were strict, but still they were also deeply supportive of Cicely's dreams, even if they didn't completely understand them. They wanted her to become a teacher or a nurse, professions that were more typical for women at the time. But Cicely's heart was drawn to the stage. She found her passion for acting while still in high school, though her early interest wasn't necessarily understood by her family. Cicely once shared that her mother initially had a hard time understanding her desire to pursue acting, viewing it as an uncertain path. However, the love and support her parents provided helped her push forward, even when she didn't have a clear roadmap of success. Her mother's words, "Cicely, you can be anything you want to be," became a constant reminder of her potential. Cicely's interest in acting didn't happen overnight. It grew over time, starting with her experiences at the High School of Performing Arts in New York. As a teenager, Cicely had a strong sense of how she wanted to shape her future, and acting provided an outlet for her creativity. Yet, like many black women of her time, she faced significant hurdles. During the 1940s and 1950s, the entertainment industry had very limited opportunities for African American actresses, and when they did exist, they often reinforced negative stereotypes. Despite this, Cicely was determined to make her mark. She faced rejection, but that didn't stop her. She knew that to succeed, she had to challenge the industry's narrow views of black women. In her early 20s, Cicely took on modeling to make ends meet. She was discovered by a photographer, and soon she was featured in magazines. Modeling helped her gain confidence, but it wasn't enough. She longed for more, for roles that allowed her to express herself as a full-fledged artist. This drive would later fuel her desire to pursue a career in acting, eventually landing her on stage in the theater scene. Challenges as an African American woman. Cicely Tyson's road to success wasn't an easy one. As an African American woman in a predominantly white industry, she encountered significant racial barriers. She was often told she wasn't exotic enough to land the roles that other actresses were getting, or that she didn't fit the typical mold of what a leading lady should look like. But Cicely didn't let these challenges define her. Instead of accepting roles perpetuating negative stereotypes, she consciously decided to wait for meaningful substantive parts. It wasn't about fame or fortune for her, it was about representation. She wanted to be seen as a full, complex character, not just as a sidekick or a servant. In her own words, Cicely once said, "I had to prove that I could be the kind of woman who could tell the stories of people who had been ignored or dehumanized." Her early career in film and television was marked by these struggles, but it was also a time where she began to lay the groundwork for what would become a revolutionary career. Cicely Tyson's career began in an era when African Americans faced significant barriers in the entertainment industry, yet she managed to defy expectations and carve out a groundbreaking path. Born in 1924 in Harlem, New York, Tyson was determined to become an actress despite the limited opportunities for black performers at the time. She first entered the world of theater, beginning her professional career in the early 1950s. Tyson's early stage work in the 1950s was marked by both struggle and perseverance. She appeared in several off-Broadway productions, but her breakthrough in theater came with her role in The Blacks, a clown show, a play by the legendary playwright Jean Genet. It was during these early years that Tyson began to develop her unique voice, challenging stereotypical roles often offered to African American actresses. Her commitment to portraying characters with depth and dignity was already evident in her stage work, which was in stark contrast to the limited, often demeaning, roles that were typically available for black actors at the time. The shift from theater to television was a natural progression for Tyson, as television started gaining prominence in the 1950s. Like many black performers, she initially appeared in guest roles on various TV shows, many of which reflected the racial stereotypes prevalent in the media. However, Tyson managed to make a significant impact even in these smaller, often one-dimensional roles. One of her earliest notable television appearances was on the anthology series East Side, West Side in 1963, a series known for addressing social issues. In this series, she played the role of a nurse, a character that showed intelligence and independence, traits that were not often associated with African American women on television at the time. These early television roles, while not major, showcased Tyson's ability to elevate her characterizations and demand respect as a performer, even in limited roles. They also laid the foundation for what would become a distinguished career in Hollywood. Her early career in film and television was marked by these struggles, but it was also a time where she began to lay the groundwork for what would become a revolutionary career. By the late 1960s, Tyson transitioned into film, a move that proved to be a pivotal moment in her career. In the early years of her film career, she faced the same racial obstacles as in theater and television, with African American actresses often relegated to roles as maids or other subservient figures. Tyson refused to accept such limited portrayals and made a deliberate choice to take on roles that reflected the dignity, strength, and complexity of African American women. Her commitment to authentic representation began to gain attention, but it was her first major film role in 1972, that truly marked her entrance into the film industry as a serious, respected actress. Tyson's performance in Sounder, 1972, was a turning point. In this film, she played Rebecca, a mother of 3 children, who is the steadfast, nurturing matriarch of her family in the face of adversity. Set during the Great Depression in the South, the film focuses on the struggles of an African-American family trying to survive, with Tyson's portrayal of Rebecca being a shining example of maternal strength and resilience. Her nuanced performance was lauded for its depth and authenticity, and it earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress in a Supporting Role. This was a remarkable achievement for Tyson, as it marked one of the few times a black actress had been nominated for an Oscar in a major acting category. The success of Sounder was a breakthrough moment for Tyson, not only in terms of her recognition as an actress, but also in how it reshaped the portrayal of African American women in film. Tyson's role in Sounder was particularly important because it was a far cry from the stereotypical roles that were often offered to black actresses. Rather than being confined to the roles of servants or secondary characters, she was portrayed as a strong, loving, and independent woman at the center of her family's story. This film solidified her status as an actress who could carry the weight of complex, layered characters and who was not willing to settle for anything less than roles that allowed her to fully express her talent. This approach would continue to define Tyson's career in the years to come, as she would go on to star in a variety of projects that showcased her range and her dedication to portraying characters with dignity and strength. Tyson's transition from theater to television and ultimately to film in the 1950s and 1960s was more than just a series of career steps. It was a reflection of her unwavering commitment to challenging the boundaries of race and representation in the entertainment industry. Her work in Sounder marked the beginning of a storied career that would go on to break barriers and redefine the roles of black women in Hollywood. It was a career built on resilience, talent, and an unyielding commitment to authenticity, qualities that would continue to shape her work for the rest of her life. Cicely Tyson's groundbreaking career was honored with numerous prestigious awards, reflecting her extraordinary talent and cultural impact. In 1974, she won 2 Emmy Awards for the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, becoming one of the first African-American actresses to achieve this level of recognition. This dual honor solidified her as a trailblazer in television. In 2013, Tyson returned to Broadway and earned a Tony Award for her role in The Trip to Bountiful. Her heartfelt portrayal of Carrie Watts showcased her versatility and captivated audiences, further cementing her legacy in theater. She also received honorary degrees from institutions like Howard and Harvard, recognizing her contributions to the arts and society. In 2018, Tyson was awarded the Seiji Lifetime Achievement Award, celebrating her decades of pioneering work in film, television, and theater. 2 years earlier, she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama, highlighting her influence as a cultural icon and advocate for racial equality. These honors represent more than accolades. They reflect Tyson's role in breaking barriers for African American actresses and her dedication to authentic storytelling. Her legacy continues to inspire generations, making her one of the most influential figures in entertainment history. His personal life was as remarkable as her career, shaped by her deep values, activism, and unwavering dedication to empowering others. She married legendary jazz musician Miles Davis in 1981, a union that attracted significant public attention. Their relationship was complex, marked by both love and challenges. Davis's struggles with addiction and the pressures of fame inevitably affected their marriage, but Tyson's resilience and strength shone through. While the marriage ended in divorce in 1989, Tyson remained a steadfast supporter of Davis's artistry and legacy, even after their separation. This relationship demonstrated her capacity for loyalty and forgiveness, even in the face of personal difficulties. Tyson's values were deeply rooted in activism and a commitment to social justice. She was a lifelong advocate for racial equality, often using her platform to address systemic issues affecting African Americans. Her choices in roles reflected this dedication, as she consistently sought to portray strong, dignified black women, breaking stereotypes and creating space for nuanced representations of her community. Tyson also dedicated much of her life to empowering the next generation of African American actors. She believed in the importance of mentorship and education, often speaking to young performers about the value of authenticity, perseverance, and self-respect in their craft. While Cicely Tyson's career was marked by acclaim and respect, she was not immune to the challenges of navigating Hollywood as a black actress. Early in her career, she faced the pervasive racism of the entertainment industry, which often relegated African American performers to stereotypical roles. Tyson made a deliberate decision to reject such roles, a stance that initially limited her opportunities. This bold choice, though controversial at the time, ultimately set her apart as a pioneer for change in Hollywood. Another notable challenge was the scrutiny surrounding her marriage to Miles Davis, which drew public and media attention. Their union was sometimes criticized due to Davis's personal struggles and the public perception of their tumultuous relationship. Despite this, Tyson remained focused on her work and her values, refusing to let personal controversies overshadow her career. Her ability to navigate these challenges with grace and dignity further solidified her reputation as a trailblazer. Cicely Tyson's influence on future generations of actors, particularly African American performers, is immeasurable. Her refusal to accept stereotypical roles and her commitment to authenticity transformed Hollywood, paving the way for more diverse and meaningful storytelling. Tyson inspired countless actors to demand respect for their craft and to portray characters with depth and dignity. Her cultural contributions extended far beyond acting. Tyson was a vocal advocate for social justice, frequently speaking out on issues of race and equality. Her work brought attention to stories of resilience and empowerment, leaving a lasting impact on the broader cultural landscape. She also left her mark in literature with her memoir, Just As I Am, published shortly before her death in 2021. The memoir provided an intimate look at her life, career, and the values that guided her, offering inspiration to readers around the world. Tyson's legacy lives on through the countless performers and activists who have followed in her footsteps. Her presence in Hollywood was not just that of a talented actress, but of a trailblazer who reshaped the industry's standards and expectations. She remains an enduring symbol of strength, resilience, and authenticity. At the time of her death on January 28, 2021, Cicely Tyson's net worth was estimated to be around $10 million. While this figure reflected her decades of success in film, television, and theater, the true value of her career went far beyond monetary gains. Tyson's contributions to the arts, culture, and social justice were immeasurable, making her one of the most influential figures in the history of American entertainment. Her work redefined representation in Hollywood and brought visibility to stories that had long been overlooked. The wealth she amassed was not just financial but cultural, as her career and legacy continued to inspire generations of actors, artists, and activists. Cicely Tyson wasn't just a star. She was a revolution in herself, a symbol of power, grace, and unshakable determination. She turned her craft into a tool for change, breaking barriers and redefining representation in ways that will echo for generations. Her story reminds us that true greatness isn't just about the roles we play, but the impact we leave behind. If her journey inspired you, don't let it stop here. Let's continue her legacy by striving for authenticity, courage, and purpose in all that we do. Thank you for watching. And if you want more stories about the icons who've reshaped our world, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Cicely Tyson may be gone, but her light will never fade. In 1977, Tyson continued to break barriers with her role in the landmark miniseries Roots, based on Alex Haley's novel of the same name. The series traced the history of an African-American family from their capture in Africa and enslavement in America to their eventual fight for freedom. Tyson played Binta, the mother of Kunta Kinte, the series' central character. Although her role was not as extensive as some of her other projects, Tyson's performance in Roots was deeply moving and contributed to the series' emotional impact. Roots became a cultural phenomenon, bringing the horrors of slavery to the forefront of American consciousness in a way that had never been done before. It broke viewership records, won numerous awards, and sparked a national conversation about race and history. Tyson's participation in this groundbreaking project further solidified her legacy as an actress committed to telling important, often painful stories about the African American experience. These pivotal roles, Sounder, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, and Roots, were not just highlights of Tyson's career. They were milestones in the representation of African Americans in media. At a time when Black actors were still fighting for visibility and meaningful roles, Tyson's performances offered audiences a new perspective. She portrayed characters who were not only central to the narrative but also full of depth, complexity, and humanity. Through her work, Tyson challenged stereotypes and redefined what it meant to be a Black actress in Hollywood. Her commitment to authenticity and excellence inspired a generation of actors and opened doors for more diverse storytelling in film and television. Cicely Tyson's legacy as an actress is inseparable from her commitment to portraying the truth of African American life. With every role she chose, she brought dignity and respect to the characters she played and to the broader narrative of Black history and culture. Her work in Sounder, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, and Roots remains a testament to her immense talent and her unwavering dedication to making meaningful contributions to the entertainment industry.